those criticisms of Biden's, like, re-upping of, domestic extremism and the fear that that would fall on the backs of people on the left have actually borne out to some extent. So right after January 6th, guess who passed an anti-protest law or got that rammed through? It was Governor DeSantis of Florida. So I didn't remember this, but Governor DeSantis condemned the actions of Donald Trump supporters and said, quote, "It was totally unacceptable and those folks need to be held accountable. And it doesn't matter what banner you're flying under. The violence is wrong and the rioting and the disorder is wrong." That's what he said about January 6th. Well, later on that year, he passed his anti-protest legislation called the Combating Public Disorder legislation, which when it was originally introduced did not have a lot of traction. After January 6th, got it passed. It targets protesters who damage personal and business property or assault law enforcement. Violators could face felony battery charges if they commit burglary during a riot. Okay, that seems, maybe that's acceptable, but further down, the bill also says a person cannot intentionally obstruct free, convenient, or normal use of the public street, highway, or road by impeding, hindering, stifling, retarding, or restraining traffic or passage thereon. Basically, you can't protest on a street ever. And like, we are going to elevate those to what? A felony charge if you were arrested. So again, this is criminalizing dissent, criminalizing protesters. And we know that bill, they introduced that bill in the wake of the George Floyd protests of 2020.
So, French, as a union, this is how my organizer brain reacts to that. I start looking for the loopholes because, the history of unions picketing is that there were injunctions that said you can't block the factory gates, and then unions were like, "But what if we walk in a circle?"
Right.
And so I look at that, and I'm like, aha, it says a person cannot do that. What if I bring horses? What if I light couches on fire and then leave? I
think horses actually would work.
Hell yeah.
I'm not really a friend of the horse. Like, they scare me. But I'd become one. I think every protest should be encircled in horses. But that usually is. But they're always working for the cops. They're working for the wrong side.
We saw Sorry to Bother You. We know the power of horses.
Oh God. I'm not gonna say it, but I am gonna say it. The weirdest turn of a film I don't think I ever predicted. Nato Green was also in Sorry to Bother You. No big deal. Last thing I'm going to say.
Please rent it, because I need those $3 in residuals from every time you rent it.
Last thing I'm going to say, there has been some follow-up. Not only was there this DeSantis law, but 88 anti-protest bills have been introduced around the country since the Capitol riot. You think those things are targeting white supremacists and militias? I don't know. 33 of them were introduced in January 2021 alone. 11 of them post-January 6 laws have been enacted, giving authorities wide latitude to prohibit or punish protesters, and sometimes even providing legal protection to motorists who mow them down, which is insane. Motorists who mow them down, those have always been like far-right extremists, right? And in fact, it happened in Florida. Authorities in Florida prosecuted an anarchist and Black Lives Matter protester, Daniel Baker, purely over speech and social media posts, sentencing him to nearly 3 years in prison, roughly the same punishment as one Capitol rioter got for punching an officer. So, yes, in principle, it is good to have more oversight, in my opinion. There wasn't even cross-coordination between some of these agencies as to the rise of these extremist groups. But on a local level, we can see that they're being implemented and potentially going to harm activists and folks on the left and Black Lives Matter organizers more so than they ever will touch, armed white militias. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.